Ryan's gonna mana tithe him. Got him. Odric Lunarch Marshal. Oh no. All the Cauldra abilities gonna spread? Ooh. Today on Commander Replay, we check out this $100 budget Bruenor Battlehammer list and see if we can Voltron our opponents to death. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, help support me and save 15% on singles by using the promo code REPLAY at mothershipaTX.com. Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange. Welcome back everyone, playing some budget Bruenor Battlehammer today. Today we're sticking to a $100 budget. Take a look at this opener. Ooh, you know, if we find a third land, it's fine. We get Wylith, put boots on Wylith, start drawing cards? Our land count is not super high, though. It's 36. We'll try it. If for some magical reason we get to 4, we can loot with the ready, and that'll be nice also. So a viewer of the channel had sent me their budget Bruenor list, and it just so happened that I had been thinking about doing a budget build of this commander, but looking at the non-budget build, I looked at it for like a second and just said, ugh, this is going to be so daunting because all of my favorite cards are like $15 to $25 now. It's insane. Like, all the swords are crazy expensive, Waves of Aggression, Aurelia, the equipment tutors, all the stuff. Crazy expensive now. So I got a little down on the project, but a viewer sent me their $50 Bruenor list, and I kind of used that as the base to get this thing going, because that really kind of took out a lot of the heartache of trying to start completely from scratch to get this thing to $100, because even like the mana base takes forever to redo and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, I appreciate that list coming in, and that has allowed me to do this $100 budget Bruenor list. And I think the deck's in pretty good shape right now. This is the first time I'm playing it, but I think there's probably also like a few little tweaks here and there that are going to be, that I'm probably going to iron out after the game. So our first draw was that Sword of the Animist, and that's going to be super helpful, because now we can drop down the Remorseful Cleric, and even if we get stuck, we can cast Sword of the Animist, and then we're going to have a pretty good time after that. And this is really the key to the deck. If you have an early equipment tutor, it should probably be this or Dowsing Dagger, unless for some reason your hand's full of ramp and you just don't need ramp that much, maybe Mask of Memory, but early game equipment tutor's almost always going to be Sword of the Animist or Dowsing Dagger. Opponent gets a Growth Spiral, gets themselves an extra land. Ancient Tomb for opponent. Worn Power Stone, there's one I haven't seen in a little bit. Ha! Ryan's gonna mana tithe him. Got him. Got him. Oh, wow. No one saw that coming. There's a fighter class. All right, this hand kind of shaping up the way we want it. Let's play the land. Let's get a Remorseful Cleric into play. I would love if we can catch that third land next turn, but we'll be okay if we don't. Just that it'll take us a second to get going again with the Sword of the Animist. He said it's for the memes, and it gives the dopamines. Opponent's going to cast an Aegar. Yep. Ryan did get himself an Arcane Signet into play. What gets weird about budget lists like this is that you need more cards to get the same job done, generally, which makes it harder to cut. So I think I am skimping on lands a little bit here. Jessica's Will getting us for 6. Opponent will get 6 red mana. Here comes Aegar. Yep. There's a Valakut Awakening. I wouldn't mind one of those, actually. I think these are really expensive. Expensive enough. The cheapest one's about $5. It's definitely a lot for a land, but, you know. I do find this to be one of the, like, most consistently useful flip lands. I really like having it in my hand, because if you get into a situation like this, you can wheel everything away. Well, we didn't catch that land that we were looking for, but we drew an Inquisitor's Flail, and we'll cast the Sword of the Animist like we had talked about. Hope all this stuff holds up for our next turn, because we gonna need some lands. Keeper of the Accord coming in. That's a pretty good one. I'm a little jealous. This is the type of thing that I thought about jamming in this deck just because it's a really good safety valve, and it just spits out bodies, so you have blockers, which is really helpful. Voltron deck's not known for having lots of blockers in play, so usually you have one really big one if it has Vigilance. And I think there's only 2 sources of Vigilance in the deck. So something like this can be a really nice safety net if you want to work around with the budget a little bit. And opponent gets a land with it, yep. Even getting 1 land with it is absolutely perfect. Yeah, they're about 350. I think we got room in the budget to add one of these in. I think I definitely need to smooth out the mana a little bit. 4 damage to each non-giant... Oh, really? Are we losing our creature? That's not good. Come on, land. Yep. Remorseful Cleric down. We could have exiled the graveyard, which we should have did. No, actually, Aegar just died, so we would not have gotten the Aegar. That hurts a lot, though. There's a land, thank God. All right, play the Wylith. Really need this to stick. Nahiri the Lithomancer coming in. Yep. Ryan playing Nahiri the Lithomancer. It's a planeswalker that can be your commander. Usually a mono-white equipment deck. He has this one in paper, and he played it, and I don't know, it was a few weeks ago, and it was right as Sword of Hearth and Home came out, and he put it on a Stoneforge Mystic, and it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was absolutely insane. If you ever have the chance to do that, you should do that. Sean's got a Time Twister, so we probably need that, to be completely honest. There's some lands. Fighter class coming back to us, getting that tutor back. There's a Redain. Should be nice for slowing things down. Got a Luxodon Warhammer, Soul Ring for opponent. So that was definitely a good Time Twister for us, because our hand was getting kind of awkward. Fighter class, we're probably starting to think about some card draw now. Probably going to be some Mask of Memory. Although, we got Wylith. Maybe, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so I probably need to smooth out the mana just a little bit for consistency's sake. Probably add 1 land and an Armillary Sphere, I think is where I'm heading. Before we wheeled, we had an Inquisitor's Flail in our hand, and that's one that I'm always very curious about. It can be really good, but sometimes it's not. Generally, it depends on how much unblockable you have and or if you have First Strike. Because once they start blocking it, it can get weird because your commander can die, because even small things have their damage doubled back to your commander, and sometimes that's a problem. It's a really interesting card. But I played it in my Halvar deck in paper, I don't know, a few months back, and I realized that I would have had turn 5 lethal on someone. I forget which Sword of X and Y it was, and the Inquisitor's Flail and the double strike, and you're like, oh, that's insane. That's a lot of damage. Used to run it in Aurelia, but haven't in a long time. That's a Blackblade Reforged. That one's pretty good. Let's equip a Sword of the Animist. Opponent did use their Nahiri to get a Sword of the Animist, by the way. I'm going to attack fish right here. Or do we just kill the Planeswalker? And we should probably just kill the Planeswalker. Nothing good will come from leaving the Planeswalker in play. So, let's do that. Sword of the Animist trigger and a Wylith trigger. Yeah. There's a Myriad Landscape, and that's exactly why I haven't played a land yet. I was waiting to see if we would draw into a tap land for some reason. And we did. Use the Sword of the Animist ability. Let's get another Plains. I'm going to get the Myriad Landscape right here. I do want to get some more ramp going. We're still kind of playing catch up with the lands a little bit. We have 8 cards in hand. How about that? Discard a Plains, I guess. I know we could cast the Fighter class, but we already have a couple equipment in hand, so like that's not what I'm super worried about. I'd really rather get the mana up and going, especially since Ancient Tomb start over there into a Mana Rock. There's some green ramp. Yeah, people are definitely ahead of us on mana. Sword of the Animist, for opponent, they're going to swing... I think that's coming our way. Yeah, coming back at us. We deserve it. We took down their commander, Planeswalker. Man, if we can get Fighter class upgraded, equip abilities cost 2 less to activate, that's incredibly good. I guess we also have our commander. Have I read our commander yet? I don't think I have. Bruenor Battlehammer, 4 mana, 5/3. Each creature you control gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it. Pretty good. You may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate each turn. Is beautiful. Just a beautiful ability on a Boros commander. I've played 1 game with Bruenor so far, and that was with the non-budget deck, and he didn't have a lot of time in play, but I was able to deliver a really surgical strike on an opponent that needed to die, and you guys should totally check that video out. But its 2 abilities together are really powerful. So the free equip, obviously, that's the thing that I've been talking about for years. I've always wanted Pure Steel Paladin as a commander. But the fact that they also get 2/0 means that if you play something like an ability equipment, like the Sword of the Animist, which doesn't really add a lot in the way of damage, now you're getting an additional +2 off of that, and like that's actually meaningful damage once Double Strike and Extra Combat start showing up. And it does make me wonder if you want to run a lot of the really cheap equipments, kind of like with the new Akiri, stuff like Infiltration Lens, Explorer Scope. Probably not Shuko. I think Shuko is a little bit too underwhelming for my personal taste, but there's the 2 equipment that make treasure tokens when you hit. I wonder if those make sense with Bruenor, because they're also giving you damage, where in most other decks they aren't really. Opponent gets a Teamer Ascendancy. Yep, that's good. And there's a Yorvo, so there's going to be a lot of haste happening over there. It's like we got double the giants at this table. So continuing on our opponents, we got Sean piloting Surrak Dragonclaw, and this is Teamer Giants. We see a Stink Drinker Daredevil and a Yorvo, and he's got this Teamer Ascendancy. It's pretty good. Watch out for that. There's a Tectonic Giant, also pretty good. And then finally, we've got Fish Said Fish piloting Aegar the Freezing Flame. It's going to be Is It Giants. Seen this one on the channel once or twice. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess damage, if a giant, wizard, or spell you controlled dealt damage to it this turn, draw a card. I've seen Fish have some really good starts with this deck, and it's kind of she kind of becomes the arch enemy sometimes. And we'll see how that goes. Oh, big old attack from Sean. And he's going to go for the damage mode on the Tectonic Giant. Yep. He's out of cards. I would have went for the Exile. That one is until the end of your next turn. So he just coughed his hand into play. There was a Dockside Extortionist in there too, which definitely helped. Fish goes down to 20. If they have a board wipe, they're going to want it. Opponent did get a Cauldron Complete during their turn while I was talking, and that's a nasty card because it's indestructible. And there's just a lot of really powerful keywords on there, and as the game rolls along, this is just, it's just going to be tough to deal with this. The indestructible means you need some really specific stuff. We do have a Crush Contraband. That's probably our best bet. There might be a Chaos Warp somewhere too, but actually I don't know if Chaos Warp made the cut. Talisman for opponent. That's a Hammerfist Giant. Cool card. I've definitely used it in Aurelia in the past. Very far into the past. It's interesting. It's interesting. Works best if you have an Iroas in play. If you can pull that off, then pretty cool. But by today's standards, kind of a lot of mana, a little bit slow. Definitely made more sense back in the day. But that is repeatable removal, and repeatable removal is really good. The question is, we could put a Blackblade Reforged on Wylith, and that would keep it alive. That's a Mask of Memory. More card draw. Love it. Love it. So, I mean, like, they're probably going to have to activate that. I'm going to go for the... Yeah, maybe we play the Blackblade Reforged, because that keeps it alive against Sean. Sean is sort of out of gas, but he could send a fairly hard hit our way. Oh, the Vigilance on Redain. I wish Redain was in play right now. The thing I worry about is just, like, sending this in and then having no blockers at all. That's kind of scary. Could really use some of that Vigilance. Yeah, I don't like our options here. Don't care for them. I think it's Mask, and we should get the Fighter class in, though. That equip thing is going to be so good. But drawing cards, we'll draw so many cards. Yeah, I'm going to go Mask of Memory. It's just so much card draw. We'll play a Mountain, equip the Mask. We will lose our Wylith, but we'll draw a bunch of cards right here, so we should be fine once this gets activated. I'm not looking to anger him by hitting him with the Blackblade Reforged and not have a follow-up plan to that. That's why I'm not going on that plan, because normally I'd probably try to save it against the Hammer Fist, but I'm going for the value play, and, you know, he might just be like, oh, it's a value play, and not just kill us, which would be ideal. So we'll draw 2 with the Wylith. More stuff. Sword of the Animist. Getting caught up on the lands. Let's get it a Plains. We have 8 cards in hand, but I'm probably still going to crack the landscape. Oh, actually, you know what? The Hero's Blade gets us out of range of the Hammerfist Giant. So we should do that. Draw with the Mask of Memory. Oh my, those are cards. Wow, I really don't want to discard our last land. That's not what I'm looking to do. I guess the Leonin Abunis. I like it. It's a cool card. It's hard to get back if we discard it. At least some of the other stuff. There's a chance that it comes back. Yeah, I mean, I like it, but there's a mono white deck at the table, so I'm assuming Austere Command, Hour Revelation, and the Cat won't help you with that type of thing. Wow, we're up to 9 cards in hand. Yeah, play the Hero's Blade. Let's get one out of the hand. Oh, wait, is this in the reverse order? Oh, that's the reverse order. Wow. Yeah, messed that up. Totally messed that up. That's not great. Well, pass like that. What do we discard? We're going to discard again. How many equipment tutors do we actually need? 1 is probably fine. Eventually, there's a Reconstruct History also, if we really need another one. In the 2 games I've played so far, it doesn't seem like you just run Bruenor down there on turn 4. There might be times where it makes sense to do that, but so far that hasn't really been what I'm seeing. I guess it depends on what creature's in your hand. If you don't have creatures in your hand, then potentially you could probably load up on the equipments pretty good with Bruenor too. I have about 20 creatures in this deck, which is a safe number. Means that you're going to have a reasonable number of creatures, usually probably 1 or 2 in your hand at the start of the game. You could potentially make this a very low creature count deck that does require that Bruenor is going to stay in play. And, you know, that won't happen all of the time. Search the premises. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, investigate. That's a cool card. Could be a little cheaper mana-wise, though. If no one attacks you, it actually does nothing. Opponent going to poke us. Leaving the Germ back. The Germ is indestructible. Good against what's going on over here. Sort of the Animus trigger. But we take a hit for 2. You know, I've really come back around on Luxodon Warhammer. It was a card I wasn't running for a while, and especially my Aurelia builds, and the lifelink. The lifelink trample 3-0 is just so good. I've been finding more and more that it's a thing that you want. With everything getting stronger, your life just drains quicker, and being able to gain life back is really, really important. In a Voltron deck, it's fairly common to get to 50 or 60 life, and if you do that, pretty good chance you aren't just going to die to random creatures. You know, you might die to some big Crater Hoof play, but that is the finisher of that deck. If you can, you know, thwart that play, you're not going to die. You're not going to die to like these random giants over here. It's going to take something really big to take you down. And yeah, opponent's going to put a Shadow Spear on the Yorvo. Here comes Surrak. Yep, he does have some power. Where does he want to send it? Oh no! Ryan's going to crush Contraband, our Mask of Memory, and this Teamer Ascendancy. At least that gets rid of the haste. Teamer Ascendancy is pretty nasty. Cuts off their card draw, too. It depends on when Fish wants to pop this. I'd probably hold it for as long as I can. That's how I generally play with those type of effects. So the question is whether we'll get another attack off with Wylith or not. I would love to be able to draw just a couple more lands. Yorvo on the attack. Stink Drinker our way. Dockside our way. Tectonic also our way. Okay. He's sending it back. Opponent will investigate. Yeah, he's going for the exile mode. He is low on cards. Surtland Flinger can be played until their next turn. Whenever it attacks, you may fling a creature, basically. It's reasonable. It's reasonable. Opponent's going to block with the Indestructible. Oh, that'll exile the Yorvo. That's cool. It's not often you actually get to see that ability trigger because the creature needs to not die in combat, but Yorvo going down. Ended up there and not in the exile zone for some reason. Very strange. It is now under the Cauldron. Opponent's going to equip the Shadow Spear to their Surrak. Put an indestructible counter on target god. That's fun. Tyrite Sanctum? That one was not really on my radar. Target legendary creature becomes a god. That's fun. You know, that could be done. If you got a Feast and Famine and some Double Strike. Something like that. Storm's Wrath. Yep, down everything goes. Oh, gonna make it 4 more. All right, yeah, we're cleaning out the board. Wylith, not gonna make it back. Should have went for the Blackblade Reforged. Maybe not the best piloting right there. Actually, definitely not the best piloting right there. This is legendary, so this will get a free equip from the Hero's Blade, which will be nice. And opponent's gonna get to draw some cards because the Aegar ability. So that cleaned out the board a little bit. The giant threat has been slowed down. At least one of them. Now Fish is at 12 life with 10 cards. Sort of a predicament for them to be in. Soul Ring. They've been using that Ancient Tomb a lot. Thing's going to kill them if they don't find some life gain. This is going to be a good turn for Redain because Fish has a lot of cards. And Redain will at least make big spells hard to cast. Still really want to crack this landscape. Fish has got a discard at the end step. There's a Lavisa Cold Eyes. Fun card. Not what we're looking for right now, but can give our commander haste. Let's play the Plains. Let's cast Redain. Hero's Blade will free equip. I was really on the fence about Hero's Blade also, but now we've got a 5/5 Redain. We'll have 2 mana left if we crack the landscape. I want to crack the landscape. We've been talking about doing it for a while. A lot of red in hand. That being the case, we'll get 2 mountains. Can go for the... Let's get the fighter class. I know we could equip the Sword of the Animist. I don't want to do that unless... We'll do that next turn, just so we don't get the mana blowouts from removal. Question is, what are we getting? More card draw would be nice. That would be Rogue's Gloves. Maybe it's Sunforger time. I don't know. There's some reasonable Sunforger targets in this deck. Sword of Vengeance is also just good. It's turn 7. We have finisher equipments in Blackblade Reforged and Argentum Armor, so I don't feel like I also need Sunforger, even though there are so many times that I would definitely go for it. Oh, haste is a thing that we kind of want to. But card draw. Question is, can we win the game with the cards we have? Depends if people have artifact removal. Because Fleet Feather Sandals, yeah, Fleet Feather Sandals is pretty good. I'm going to get the Fleet Feather Sandals. I'm going with we can finish the game with the cards that we have. Because Fleet Feather plus Bruenor plus Blackblade, someone's going to die. Sword of the Animist onto the Germ. Yeah, I was thinking about Kaldra for this deck. I think it's about $8 or so. I had one last slot in the deck for about $10. I put a Stonehewer Giant there because that's a really good card. But you could definitely slice that a lot of different ways. If you wanted to go for a Kaldra Complete, definitely a thing that you can do. If you wanted to go for a Sinew and Steel, those are about $12. Also a thing that you could do. Had a lot of choices about what to do with the last $10 or so. Oh, you know what? We had this Lavisa Cold Eyes for the haste, just that it is 5 mana, and I wonder if that does make it a little bit too cute. Is a 5 mana 3/3? Nahiri coming back to play for a bit of mana. Gonna make a 1/1. Move the Kaldra to it. The Germ stays alive because of the Sword of the Animist. Yeah, it's a 6/6 indestructible blocker. Sean living off the top, plays a Signet, not where you want to be. He does have that Surtland Flinger. He goes ahead and casts it. Yeah, he's got something into play now. Equips the Shadow Spear to it. Yeah, 5/7 lifelink trample. That can get things done. Also, the Fling ability will gain even more life if he has creatures to sacrifice. Surrak is not a giant, so it won't get the double damage mode. Basalt Ravager enters the battlefield, deals X damage to any target where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature type in common. That'll be 2. Redain currently out of range. Could shoot the Germ. Yeah, shoots the Germ. They get to draw a card. Tectonic Giant coming in for opponent. That's pretty good. That's a Haunted Cloak. Well, I would use that tutor differently if I knew that was coming. I think we want to get the fighter class upgraded. Let's do that. Level 2. Equip abilities cost 2 less to activate. That's really powerful. These are free. Well, that one's not free, but a bunch of them are free. A lot of them are 1. Free equip the Sword of the Animist. Play a Luxodon Warhammer. Equip it for 1. Oh, and you get lifelink on Redain. It's so good. Because you can just hit everything in the air. It's also a blocker. It's a nightmare for your opponents. And then we'll play a Fleet Feather Sandals. Free equip that also. So next turn we can cast Bruenor and probably a Relentless Assault and kill someone. Potentially also a Blackblade Reforged. We can go for the Planeswalker, or we could just go straight to his face. We'll go to his face. 9 is a lot. He will investigate. This also makes me want to build a Redain deck. Redain and Halvar together are so ridiculously good. They are 2 peas in a pod. You just move the equipments back and forth. No one can attack you because Redain has Vigilance and it's equipped up. So good. Yeah, he goes down to 18. We're up to 27. Decent turn right there. Still need to get the mana straightened out a little bit. We're kind of choking on mana still. More free equips in the deck. I think we need. Also, I guess we Sword of the Animist has been our only ramp. We didn't hit any mana rocks, which didn't help our cause. Also, we missed a land early. I mean, I guess all things considered, we're not doing too bad. It's turn 8. We're on 11 lands. Definitely a slow start, though. Open the armory. Oh, this could be bad. Blackblade Reforged. What do you go for in mono white? You go for Argentum Armor in that deck. We could actually cast Argentum Armor and just put it on the Redain. They go for a Sinew and Steel. Gross. But why? What do they shoot? Maybe the Warhammer? Losing the lifelink will make me very sad. Maul of the Skyclaves. I forgot about that one. That's a very good one for this deck. $1.27. Yeah, that's pretty budget friendly. Puts it on the Core Soldier. Odric Lunarch Marshal. Oh no. All the Kaldra abilities gonna spread? Ooh. Now they have Flying. Flying's bad. Now we can't just kill them with Relentless Assault and all the stuff that I was hoping to do. That's unfortunate. We could level this thing all the way up and then force them. No, because it's still gonna have Indestructible. Someone's gotta wipe the board or at least shoot the Odric before combat. Yeah, Odric and Kaldra Complete. That's a pretty good little combo right there. A lot of keywords. Hurricane? Really? Well, that's rude. Oh, that's going to put fish really low. Oh, did that just kill the flyer? What had flying over here? Oh, I think that killed their flyer. That's actually probably very good. Okay. I'm on board. We're at 20. We need to not die. There's close to 20 power of stuff in play. He's going to gain a bunch of life right here. He's coming our way. Yeah, he's going to gain the life. Opponent's life totals are really low. I don't even think we're going to need Blackblade Reforged. Impulse. We're at 15. Currently, Fish has 11 damage worth of creatures and then 3 more off Tectonic Giant if they use that mode. Which would put us at 1. Hope they don't find something else. Thundercloud Shaman. Deals damage to non-giants equal to the number of giants you control. That will kill this Odric, which is also a good thing. And I don't believe that's going to kill us. Opponent will draw a card. Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. Sure, I won't like this. What's it copying? Commander, maybe? Another Shaman. That's indestructible, and that's a giant. I don't know what the plan... Are they trying to draw more? I guess they're trying to draw more. Fish sadly has 2 blue mana up. Tectonic Giant our way. This one into Sean. Okay. We're probably going to survive. 4/4 into Sean. Goes to the 3 damage mode. Yep. The life totals are low. We go down to 12. Ryan's at 7. Sean's at 21. And Fish is at 5. Yeah, we really don't even have to go that crazy. Like, we just need our commander with evasion, basically, is all we need to kill 2 players. There's a land off the top. Play the land. It's time for the Battlehammer. Cast Bruenor. Hero's Blade will free equip. Use the ability. Fleet Feather Sandals. Sword of the Animist for free. Luxodon Warhammer, we do need to pay 1. And pray for no removal. Sean wouldn't have any removal because he's tapped out and has no cards. Yeah, the safe play here is Sean. Sword of the Animist. Get a Plains. He goes down. We're up to 29, and that's a big deal. Ryan's got the Sinew and Steel in hand, and that's bad for our equipment. Fish just has a lot of creatures and a lot of cards. Guess we play a Relentless Assault. Ryan cracks a clue. We'll probably take him down then, because I really just don't want to mess with blue mana. Also, that Sinew and Steel, again, is bad for us. Back to combat. Swing into Ryan. Search Supremacist and Sword of the Animist will trigger. Pray there's no swords or path. Get a mountain. Yeah, you gotta respect this blue mana. Stuff is scary. 6 cards, they've been drawing like crazy. Ryan goes down, we're up to 49. Alright, I'm feeling alright. I wish we had, like, some removal in hand or something to protect ourselves with, but since we don't, we're just gonna cast the Blackblade Reforged. I don't think we've actually used our Bruenor ability yet. At least I didn't mean to anyway. Looks like we did, so it's just gonna sit there. The clicking for the Bruenor ability on Magic Online is kind of awkward. I've definitely messed it up a few times. Opponent's going to cycle a Sandbar. That's fine. We're wide open. Here they come. Who needs blockers when you got a creature like this? Tectonic Giant, they're going to go for the exile mode. Still looking for stuff. There's a Giant Harbinger into exile. We take a hit, go down to 30. So I believe that was 19 damage. The question is whether they can deal with our commander or not. If they can't, I mean, they're at 5, so, you know. Won't take much to kill them. There's a Thundercloud Shaman. That does indeed kill our commander. Okay. It's better than something instant speed. Something instant speed is definite bad news. 5 cards in hand. Do they have tricks? Come on, tap it all out. Cast the Giant Harbinger. Totally fine with that. Although they are getting to a point where, I mean, they'll kill us in 2 hits. So if they just removal us hard, it's bad. It's bad. But on the other hand... Oh, yeah, I think we just cast this and cast our commander, and that puts them in a difficult spot. There's a Dismantling Wave. Not entirely necessary in this moment. Should have enough mana to do both of these. This is going to be 6. Nope, Fish got something. Tap it all. Tap it all. Arcane Denial. Bruenor, back to the command zone. We'll draw some cards next turn. Play this Lovisa. See if they have anything else. Hero's Blade will equip. Free equip the Fleet Feather Sandals. Free equip the Sword of the Animist. Need to pay 1 for the Blackblade, 1 for the Luxodon. Hope this hits. Hope this hits. Uh-oh. Oh, they have a Chaos Warp. Oh. Something big off the top? Sun Titan? It was not a Sun Titan. It was a Crush Contraband. Kind of a problem. Kind of a problem. Opponent's at 3. Do they have 30 damage? Hoping they don't. Amaria Shepherd, Crush Contraband are real Magic cards. We kind of just need a straight creature board wipe, though. Cyclone Summoner enters the battlefield. If cast from your hand, return all permanents to their owner's hand except for... Oh, are you kidding me? Really? Calamity Bear. Oh, is that doubled? Yeah, that's probably game. Yeah, they got us with the Chaos Warp. That sucks. That sucks. Yep. Down to 24, and this will certainly kill us. Did not find a protection spell. Down we go. Yeah, all the removal. We let them draw too many cards. Probably should have killed them like 3 or 4 turns earlier. because we easily could have with the Redain at one point. And that's what just like letting the blue deck draw too many cards will do. There's an Impact Resonance that would have been helpful. Would have annihilated their board. As far as the deck, yeah, there's a few little things we can iron out here. I think we definitely need a bit more mana production. I don't feel like Inquisitor's Flail is really necessary, to be completely honest. Bruenor does a lot of damage when it comes in. You'd like 3 equipments or so, 3 to 4 equipments, and that's lethal. You don't even need double strike a lot of the time. Let's get Keeper of the Accord into the deck. That's a really nice safety net for mana and blocking and stuff like that. I mean, Lovisa almost got us there, right? So maybe it's not that bad. Fighter class was definitely good. The equip abilities thing on there is super awesome. We had a blacksmith skill. Is that protection? Yeah, that one's hexproof. Sajiri Glacier's in the deck. We never found it. Sajiri's Shelter would have gotten us around that Chaos Warp. Hero's Blade wasn't terrible, especially with Redain. It's not like, I mean, it's only damage, but it does give you toughness, which is good. Inspiring Statuary is a tricky card because there are a lot of artifacts in the deck, which means it doesn't help you with artifacts or equip costs. It helps you cast your other stuff, which is something. It's something, but I've just been trying to get a look at that one, especially for this deck. I did notice not a lot of burst mana. On the other hand, there's so much colorless that, yeah, this deck could probably use a Mana Geyser. So what can we get rid of? There's 2 cards, Champion of Flame and Goblin Gavalier, I think, are very interesting, but I don't know if they're worth it entirely. I'm going to go no. I prefer value over damage. We get a Mana Geyser right there. Also, there is a heinous number of 2-drops in this deck. But that's also because, like, it doesn't produce... There's no Feast and Famine, so you can't just make tons and tons of mana out of nowhere. There's no Naheb, because Naheb is crazy expensive. Thought about 4 mana Naheb. I would love to find a spot for it. It's a nice value creature, kind of loot the hand and keep the lands going and stuff like that. You know, Hellkite Igniter could be really good in this deck. Not exactly trying to add more creatures, though. Goblin Engineer is a tricky card. You definitely need, like, a Mana Rock. I mean, you want something you can trade to go get the thing you want. Yeah, maybe instead of Goblin Engineer, we'll just go for Savine's Reclamation. We are a little dicey on lands, but there is a surprising number of card draw in this deck with Pure Steel Paladin and Shram, both at 2 mana. Akiri and Wylith, both at 3 mana. It's more card draw than you usually have at Boros. Also, I've got both Ignite the Future and Showdown of the Scalds in the deck. I almost feel like this deck wants a Blink Moth Urn, because if you can make tons of colorless mana with that, but it does help your opponents, which is not great. Yeah, this deck probably needs a little more creature removal. Don't even actually have a swords in it. Well, that's good for now. I'm going to test this just a little bit more, and I'll probably make a few more changes, so be sure to check the updated deck list. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon, the link below.